Hey guys, it is the Tap Project here, and you are speaking with your co-founder Hanif Knight and Hugh Knight.
Hey,
We are on to our second podcast, and it's so far it's been pretty good. We've had a lot of good insight and a lot of good comments from our first podcast. So obviously we're doing it again. And for those who do not know about the Tap Project is a blockchain-based transferable in-game token that aims to decentralize the gaming industry and provide gamers with options and opportunities for earning premium and earned currencies. The conversion mechanism is the Tapcoin. There is a large incentive for developers as well joining on the platform, upwards of 80% in revenue. That is the Tapcoin. I thank you guys for tuning in for another podcast. It's been great. As I said, myself and Hugh are here, and we're here to answer questions from the community. Provide updates in terms of the Tapcoin. And today we're going to be also talking about a large prospectful vision on the Tapcoin as well. And third, we'll be discussing an article, I believe it's from Metal Gear Survive, just a new way of, I guess, microtransactions. I've never seen this before, and we'll get into that as well. We'll be talking about the SEC conference that occurred, I believe it was last week, just after our latest podcast. And then we'll be hitting it up with some community questions that we received on Telegram. So, again, guys, thank you guys for tuning in, and let's get going.
just remember these are just we're just gonna talk. We're gonna keep it nice and casual as usual. Just sort of our opinions, and we'll just kind of keep it flowing.
Yes, this is not any sort of investment advice or anything like that. These are just, the two co-founders of the Tap Project talking and discussing, things in the cryptocurrency or in the blockchain industry, or obviously in terms of our project as well. So, good point to make, and good point to keep reminded of as well. So first, we'll hit it up with some Tapcoin updates. Hugh, our lead developer, what do you have on your plate here?
Well, first thing, we're adding more to our team. So we've just brought on another developer to help expand the platform. So that's pretty big for us, and I know we're super excited about that. So thumbs up for the team here as we grow and expand. We're continually building out. The API is getting a lot better. Right now, we're looking at building out a analytics part for the API and integrate with a plugin. So that's being developed right now. The subscription or the user side of the platform is pretty much edged out. Right now, I'm myself and the new addition, we're going to be working on the publisher side of things. So that's one piece down, another piece going on. And then we're just going to continue to combine them. We're slowly writing the Solidity contracts and just piecing those together. So a lot going on the development world for the TAP project. And that's pretty much it. Like, we've got a couple wish list things, but it's right now it's the road to MVP, and everything is looking good. And with the, as I said, with the additional team member on here, we can just times two it and just keep ramping up, keep building it out, and making sure that we connect the pieces for the MVP in Q.
And I think that's our biggest thing, right? Is to make that MVP push for Q2, and we are on pace to still hit our goals and our targets there. And we don't did not we've expanded the team a little bit as well, but we've brought in content writers, UI designs, and as Hugh mentioned, our another developer to push us towards that and ensure that we are on pace for that. So it's been great, in terms of beefing out the team, and that's exactly kind of what we want to do in this stage of the game, as we do push towards MVP and really push our product out there.
Yeah, for sure. I think we're being, it's easy to just grab a bunch of people and say, hey, start, punching at the keyboard. But I think we're being super strategic about this and making sure that the people that we bring on bring something to the team and to the project and to the community. Because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we can try and produce a product that everybody is happy to use, and that we're proud of, right? So this is going to be our baby as a community, as a team. and just trying to disrupt the industry. And when people look at it, they say, "Oh, wow, that's some good development work there." So
And it's been great so far to have them as well, right? As you said, we are, picking and choosing a lot here. You guys might have said, oh, you didn't expand the team till now, or whatever it might be. We've had a lot of people in the shadows as well, but we are picking and choosing kind of exactly super strategic in kind of how we're outlining this. Slow and deliberate is kind of our thing as well. A lot of ICOs or projects or whatever it might be, or startups rush to certain things, and there's a few things that you can take a couple chances at, and a few things you can take more than one chance at, and sometimes you only get one chance at certain things, right? And we want to make sure that we hit it out of the park the first time,
yeah,
and we continue with a long huge stride that we've been on, and everyone that's jumping onto the team has the same mindset and same goal, and they do want to see this project flourish, and they do want to see it reach new heights, which is awesome. And I just obviously, we want to welcome all new members as well, onto the project and the team. So it's been amazing on that front. And in terms of marketing and visionary goal as well, we are looking at providing ourselves an opportunity to join some pretty established leagues here, in terms of the gaming world and development world. Some of them I'm not able to obviously announce and provide that yet, as they are sensitive, but whether it could be conventions that are coming up in the future in the next couple of months here, we're going to be seeing some big conventions. We're looking at strategically placing ourselves there where developers are, and getting onto a partnership actually with another group that'll set us up with a large stream of developers and provide an incentive for those who come from that specific background there, joining the platform. So we're super excited to kind of moving away from the ICO and kind of that aspect, and we're obviously building the platform and getting that first up and running, 100% with our MVP coming out, and getting onto those developers that do support blockchain and crypto and gaming, obviously, and looking to innovate the gaming industry. So it's super big for us, and we're both super excited.
yeah, for sure. There's sometimes it feels like we have to duct tape the phone to our head because we're always on the phone in some type of conference call or discussion. So it's really good. As I said, we're grassroots, are always hitting the pavement, hitting it hard, and picking up the phone. That's one of the things we're not afraid to do. So, as
Never
things,
afraid to pick up the phone.
oh, never. Trust me, we the amount of people that we call and talk to, it's been amazing. And the thing as the discussions get closer and closer, and we start to solidify a lot of these things, then we can start to kind of make announcements, and then hopefully the community sees that. Okay, well, they'll see the direction that we've sort of strategically pieced together, and that opens up doors. You see a lot of projects just kind of throwing, partnerships around and just, hey, let's partner with anybody. But there's no rhyme or reason to them, right? So we've taken a different approach. And the question we ask ourselves, is this partnership beneficial to the project and to the product? And if it's not, then we're not afraid to say, okay, well, this is just no point to this going further with it. So let's find something that's going to help push this and push it out there.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we'll lead that into a kind of our segue of our next little topic here that we're going to discuss, and that's kind of the larger goal of the Tapcoin and Tap project. And Hugh and I were having a discussion, obviously, throughout the week. We have many discussions, always about the Tap project. No, I'm kidding. But no, we have many discussions, and one of them led into kind of the Tap project and the prospectful vision and goal of the Tap project. And when you think about it, there are a lot of currencies out there. There's a lot of digital currencies and a lot of currencies in general, fiat, on a whole, in other countries. And some of these currencies are seen as lower than whether you're comparing the US dollar or Canadian dollar or any other fiat currencies, the euro or anything like that. There was a specific example in, I think, Venezuela. The World of World of Warcraft gold was higher than its currency, its cultural currency, or its country's currency. And when you think of those things, that the TAP project on a whole is providing gamers an opportunity to earn, TAP coins from playing a game. Earn TAP coins from playing a game. So this is talking about playing a game, earning a set amount of TAP coins. Depending on our value matrix of the game, you can see players earning 50 cents or a dollar or 25 cents or whatever it might be, or 5 TAP coins or 50 TAP coins. And when we talked about in our first segment of our first podcast, when you start to change the way you're thinking about cryptocurrencies or blockchains, and you start to change your conversion mechanisms from saying you're not going to convert your cryptocurrency into a fiat currency because your cryptocurrency holds its own value. We're talking about a system and a potential project that can change not just the gaming industry, but I'm going to go big here. It can change the world.
Don't pull out the
It can change the. I'm pulling it out.
Don't pull
It
out
can
the hype
change
train. Don't
the
pull out the hype
world.
train.
Like if you're talking about the fact that you're going to provide anyone in the world an ability to play something and earn TAP coins, which has value in itself, that's a universal currency. That in itself is providing anyone with the opportunity to earn a TAP coin, and regardless of their their state or their position or wealth, you're providing that person an opportunity to earn 50 TAP coins an hour or 25 TAP coins an hour. And when you think of that, you're saying, wow, does this have the ability to grow and end world hunger?
Yeah.
Like, what I mean? Like, it's crazy to think of, but
It's funny. I can hear it now. Some people are listening and going, hold on a minute here, Hanif. Are you telling me instead of buying, a goat and sending it to a third world, I can buy a console and they'll be able to support themselves and be able to buy food? Who knows? It is possible, right?
right,
Without
if you're
joining the
talking
hype
about
train
it.
that you're on, it is possible, right?
It is. And when you think about it, we're not saying that that's what we're trying to do. We're not trying to, but if you're, if it goes down that way, I'm okay with that. Like, if the project goes to the fact that, we are going to be able to provide people and opportunities to, play games, earn something, and, benefit their economic status or whatever it might be, we're in for it. We're in to disrupt, the gaming industry, but if we can disrupt a large amount of industries while we're doing so, hey, game on, right?
Yeah, yeah.
This is what we're here for. We're not coming at a point where we're looking down at people. We want to push this thing from the ground and move it straight right up.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah, for sure, for sure. I think when we said one of the things we want to do is make it accessible to anybody that wants to game, anybody that's involved in the game world. It could be console, it could be PC Master Race, it could be something as simple as mobile. And I know it was mobile, that's not. But you know what? There's some people that just like to go on there and play a little mobile game for 20, 30 minutes, and that makes them happy. And, we'll embrace you. Come on in. You're a gamer too, right? So it's anybody at this point.
it is. It's crazy to hear. Let's get on to our second topic while I get off my hype train.
The hype train is
And
over. Pull into the station. All right, everybody off.
gotta pull it in, reel it in, reel it in. The next one we're going to talk about is an article that came out on the 22nd of February. Its headline is Metal Gear Survive makes you pay $10 for a new save if you don't want to delete your existing character.
Do you have any like cricket sound effects that you can like
Yeah, I think
insert some
let's play that one
cricket?
right there, right there, right there. Listen, let me go back again. Metal Gear Survive makes you pay $10 for a new save if you don't want to delete your existing character.
Insert cricket.
Like, just yeah, right? Just think about that. It goes on to say each new character you create in Metal Gear Survive will cost you $10 if you don't delete your first one. Keeping your existing character essentially means creating another save file for a new one. Um, each save slot costs 1,000 survival coins. So I guess survival coins is the type of earned or premium current. In this case, it would be premium currency in their
Yeah.
game. And you can buy 1,150 coins for $9.99. So, essentially, since microtransactions were confirmed in the game, it's not really clear on how you're going to be purchasing them, but that is the headline and that is the confirmed, at least at this point, for Metal Gear Survive. Whew, well,
I don't even know what to say about that one. I read it and I just kind of shook my head and just big face palm, right?
it's a major facepalm for gaming. As a gamer, like, I'm paying $10 just to get a new save spot. How does that make any sense? How did we come to that point where we're now paying for save spots?
Uh, you know what?
I don't
Next thing
understand.
you
Are
know,
we gonna
next thing,
pay every time we die?
oh yeah,
Like, are we gonna pay $1 to get a new
oh
life?
yeah. You know what?
Like, you're
They're gonna pay you for cutscenes now. Now you have to pay for cutscenes, right? The between games where you have the cut scene, the animation scenes, you're gonna have to pay. If you want a good one, then it's 9.99. But if you want the pixelated one, maybe it's just half price. I think that's where it's gonna end up going, right?
I don't know, and this is exactly kind of why we've created the Tap Coin and the Tap project, to reverse this type of trend. Instead of going away from microtransactions and kind of going away from that revenue model for gaming and the gaming industry, they're obviously going down deeper into something that's beyond just buy for a skin or beyond buy for anything. You're buying for existing, for just playing the game. You're buying for just in basic functionality of a video game, to die, to get new saves, to save a spot, to then create a new character, to then play it a different way. um, you're paying for just functionality of a game, just playing the game at this point. So this is what exactly the Tap Coin is meant for, to get into these types of games where these situations exist, where users are having to pay $10 to play a game. um, you know okay, let's say the fact that the Tap project is not strong enough to fight this major industry, and this is still the way that it's going to go, that every game is going to have $10 for every save point that you want to make. Okay, all right, here fights back the Tap Coin and the Tap project. We're going to integrate these games, get them all on the platform, and be able to then say, okay, if you're going to make that existing rule, we'll have a player be able to earn their premium currencies from another game, pull it out, pull it into your game, and then they're not paying $10. They're going to be able to earn their Tap Coins in another game, pull it into your game, translate that to survival coins. Boom, 1,150 coins in that game. They did not lose their $10.
That to me sounds more like the logical way. Basically, and I'm gonna throw it out there again. Uh, Guys, Metal Gear Survive, give us a call. We'll show you another way how to add to your revenue stream without completely wiping out your user base. I'm just saying, right? Give us a call. There's integrations. I'm gonna throw it out there, see what happens in the universe.
My man Snake. I remember playing Metal Gear Solid back in PS1, and you know, it's Metal Gear Solid, right? Where you'd have to sneak around, and then
Oh
they'd have the
man.
the white vision. The guy would turn around, it'd be and you'd have to like run away and hide underneath a box or something. It's a great series, but I don't understand kind of what the direction is here.
I'm gonna go on a limb and say it's a bit of desperation. Like everybody's trying not to miss this microtransaction train, which has already left as well. And so they're just trying to get their last bit in because there isn't a creative way to I think they've exhausted their creative way to create income additional income, additional revenue stream for their game.
Right. And that could be the way it as well, right? I know I'm speaking to a lot of indie developers and stuff. Not saying that Metal Gear Solid is anywhere close to an indie developer, but um, that is one of the things that they have to think about. A, where do they put their game on the platform? B, how do they get it out there? And then C, a lot of indie developers are, working on game per game. So if they put their game out there, how are they actually going to make a living? How are they going to actually pay for, their bills or whatever you might call it? So there's a lot to put in there. So, thinking about microtransactions first for them is great because they're going to actually get some revenue back immediately. However, it sets gamers up in a bad spot, and it sets their game up in a bad spot because as soon as someone sees a microtransaction, as soon as someone sees a $10, you have to pay $10 for a save point. Is your audience going to be that wide? Is your audience going to be that big? I have my own opinions about that, and I say you're going to restrict your audience for that. However, microtransactions, people paying for games, is continually increasing, and we've seen the numbers that we discussed in our first podcast for microtransactions. For example, in Player Unknown Battlegrounds was 700 whatever million last year, right? So I'm just hoping that that we come in, we disrupt the industry, we change kind of just the thinking and the mindset. We provide a different source of revenue other than microtransactions. For developers, right? Just enough to say, hey, is this the only way? And if we can cause that shift and that line of that change there to say, hey, this might not be the only way for microtransactions, and I think we've created the discussion, and then once we create the discussion, then we can kind of say, hey, have a seat, right?
Yeah,
Have a seat. Let's talk. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, come join us. Let's set up a conference call. Because at the end of the day, you've got your user base, and there's your users are usually very loyal to their games. But at some point, they kind of say, okay, well, hey, I'm pumping a lot of money into your game, and you just keep juicing me. You just keep adding things onto it. And at what point does this become a little okay? What point do I get a little bit back? So this way, with the TAP project, and when we were kind of conceiving the idea and stuff, it builds we almost come in as a neutral zone to say, okay, well, let's get both parties to the table. Let's make sure the developers have a revenue stream, but at the same time, creating a revenue stream, they don't completely alienate their user base. And the user base says, okay, well, hey, I'm able to import and export and add to your game. I don't mind, paying a little extra out of my pocket for something, because I know as I continually play your game and your games get more difficult, and I'm able to pull points out of that, and I can benefit from it, right? So it's a win-win for everybody.
And I think the one thing that you noted as well is remaining neutral, right? You can't, you have to be cognizant of the fact that these things exist currently in the market. We have to remind ourselves and remember that this is kind of the way the market is currently. So you can't revolt against it completely. You have to understand the pros for each side. You have to understand the cons for each side, and you have to find a middle ground and a neutrality, right? To exist, to be able to say, hey, I understand your concern. We'll see your concern and we'll address it. Plus, we'll provide additional benefit to it.
Yeah.
On both sides, right? And that's exactly kind of where we want to fall in, and for mass adoption especially as well. We kind of want to fit in there to be able to say, hey, we understand kind of the current existence of games and microtransactions. We think there's an additional way and another way to do so. We're not going to restrict you from doing that, but look at our product as well, look at our project and see kind of where it fits, and we'll assure you that it's going to fit in a beneficial way for you and for gamers and for everyone involved. So let's get on to our second to last topic here in terms of last week's SEC conference. This conference came just a little bit after our first podcast, and so we weren't able to discuss it on that one, but we'll discuss it here, and we'll lead with this clip here. So that was I believe it's Mr. Warner. I'm not too sure his position in there, but he's talking about essentially about um, the potentials of cryptocurrencies and blockchain. And I believe he's talking to two members of the SEC, and he's saying that if the cryptocurrency industry continues in the way that it has over the last year, you're looking at $1 trillion industry. You're looking at something that's going to be much bigger than itself, and you're looking at something that's going to be much bigger to be able to control at the time if you kind of delay any sort of actions. Um, he's looking for answers in terms of how the response is going to be, and he's cognizant of the fact that he invested in sort of a previous industry in the cell phone industry, which was thought to be very small and minor, that blew up and kind of caught people by surprise, and people were chasing it. Um, and it's a very interesting point of view, and it reminds you that there are people out there that are fighting for blockchain and fighting for cryptocurrency, but at the same time you have to recognize that some people have to make some decisions, and their decisions can or cannot change a huge industry. And if this industry continues in the way that it's going to continue in terms of blockchain technology and all that it can do, this is something that they need to be on top of. And that's what he's kind of giving a warning. Hey, you'd say he's giving a warning to them to say, hey, if you guys don't, really take this thing seriously and take blockchain technology and crypto seriously, you're going to be left by the wayside, and I don't think you'll like it, is kind of his warning. That's at least how I take it.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. He's basically saying, look, I've been through something like this before, and from a business perspective, it's not going away, right? This isn't just a fad. This isn't just the newest, the newest thing out there that the millenniums and the new ages are into. It's an actual legitimate thing, right? There are business points in there. There are opportunities in there, and the fact that you're just kind of ignoring it, you're missing out on everything, and you're missing out on the true value of it. All you see is just this part, but you don't actually see the bigger scope. And it was interesting kind of watching the clip as he was, asking these questions, and you can kind of tell the guys are kind of like thinking in their head, oh man, okay, well, how do I answer this without really answering this? Because I don't know the answer to this, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. They kind of provided just basic answers, or repeat themselves type of thing, and it's very interesting to watch kind of the dynamic between someone who kind of gets blockchain technology or is an advocate of blockchain technology, or not even, if you don't even say gets it or an advocate for it, somebody who sees a potential.
Yeah, yeah.
Whether or not they like it or not, they see the potential, and I think that's important, and I think there's a difference there. You don't have to be a fan of blockchain technology. You don't have to promote blockchain technology. You can still be a regulator or someone who wants to ensure that there's guidelines and there's no fraud and all that stuff. But to not accept that it has potential is a major downside.
Yeah, just
you're going to miss the whole
ignore
game
it
there. And he's kind of forcing them to whether or not they agree, he's kind of forcing them to at least say, hey, you're ignoring it, or B, make a decision, right? And to me, they failed. There's a huge, it's an hour and 30 minutes if you guys do want to kind of really look at it, but it has some pretty good conversation there. Not everything is important or whatever, but there are some good talks, and you can tell there are some things kind of stirring around, and people are thinking, and people are having to really take a deep look, right?
Yeah, I thought it was a good thing. If anything, at the end of it, I thought it was good for the cryptocurrency movement, the blockchain movement, and for the space as a whole. Um, there both sides made some points and so forth, and how some people were kind of looking at it as like, oh man, this is a bad thing. But if you actually watch it, and you don't have to watch the entire thing, but you actually watch bits and pieces, you see that this was a good thing. There wasn't anything coming down saying, all right, let's try and ban everything across the board. It was just kind of like, okay, well, maybe we need to take a hard look at this. and figure out how best to make it work. Because there are tons of benefits and tons of potential in it. And you know what? The cryptocurrency space, the blockchain space, the the space in a whole is world altering, is life changing, right? So, but let's figure out how to make it work and give the people the opportunity to try and advance this technology, right? We got things happening left, right, and center that are just kind of changing. If you look at like the technological space and what we've done as humans in the past while, we're taking, like, for instance, we're taking rockets, and we're blasting Teslas into space for fun, and then landing the rockets again, and then blasting other stuff into space, right?
Well, we're blasting into space, and then it's actually missing its orbit and continuing into different places,
Right?
right?
You
But
just
oh well.
imagine the alien that comes by this Tesla and is like, "Oh, what is this? What's going on? Like, what are these humans doing?" But anyway,
throwing Teslas at us? What's this?
that's a different discussion for something else. But you know what I mean? Like, the advancements in technology is just it's just growing. It's infinite. And if we take a look at that and say and apply that same thinking to the blockchain space, then it's the same thing. Let's drive. Let's use that as a driver, not use it as a deterrent and try and pull it back. Let's try and push it as hard and fast as we can, because there's potential, like exponential potential, in combining this with so many other things, right? And I think I touched on that on the first podcast, and I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole. So let's move on. Let's go.
All right, no, I hear you. It's definitely some good things that you guys should definitely, if you're interested, to take a look. So we'll get on to our last topic for is the community questions. Throughout our Telegram, we're super open about everything, as obviously as we say, super transparent. We've urged our community to post some questions, and with the hashtag podcast on Telegram at t.me/tapcoin. And we'd have a look at them. So for the first one, will the platform be able to tell the difference if someone's actually playing a game or if they AFK or not, or if someone's on the menu and alt-tabbed out of the game? So I'll take that one. And essentially, yes, the platform will respond by the game. Obviously, you'd have to play the game to earn its earned premium currencies, and thus you will not be given earned currencies for just sitting idle in a game or AFK. These are whether they're achievements or just by physically playing the game for an hour, 30 minutes, or 10 minutes, depending on your score that you pull in the game. That's what you're going to actually be able to convert for tap coins. So tap coins will not change anything different in the game. It's just going to respond exactly how the game would respond when it's giving you a score or giving you using your premium currencies. The second one we will go on to is I think this is kind of a request, or how we would feel about this request, or how we'd take it. But how about a leaderboard or achievement board on the TAP platform that pulls from the actual game achievements, and looking at self-sustaining tournaments for all games that participate on the TAP platform? Hugh, what do you think about this one?
I think the first question, the leaderboard, is actually in our wish list. So we've got a development wish list, and so how we're sort of building out things are the critical things that we need for an MVP. The functioning things are on our must do, and then we've got must do, to do, and then we've got our wish list. And the wish list are things that if we finish ahead of schedule, and we're able to insert into the MVP, we will. But it's stuff that we're going to look at exploring and seeing how it does. And so, our sort of development methodology is sort of akin to a science experiment. So we'll try the leaderboard out when we reach that stage. If it's something that picks up, then we build on top of it. If it's something that the community doesn't take it, the user base doesn't take it, then we phase it out and we go on to the next wish list thing, right? So it's not going to be hard in there and it's stuck. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We test, we try, we move on, right?
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
And what do you think about the self-sustaining tournaments for all the games there?
I think it's a fantastic idea. Personally, I think it builds that community, it builds that base into the game. There's obviously going to have to be some, thinking and organizing around it, but I'm just going to throw it out there and say that we have no problem in sort of looking at that and saying how we can help facilitate that within the platform, right? What are your thoughts?
Right, and if you kind of brainstorm a little bit while on the podcast, would be to
Oh, brainstorm. That's a little dangerous. Last time we brainstormed, we came up with the TAP project. So
would be to kind of say, okay, each week there's a game of the week, right? And you can kind of build a system based on the fact that each game of the week you'll have a tier system for that week. So if you get 10,000 points in that week, you'll be tallied up against people that get the same or whatever it might be. So if it's a side scroller or something like that and you earn 10,000, you'll be rank 1 for that week for that game specifically, or rank 2. And obviously developers and anything could wish to be on that ranking list for each week that they want to go on, and that kind of provide a competition type of thing to say, oh, I'm ranked number 2 in this game for this week, or now game of the week is going to be a sports game or whatever it might be, right? So, oh, I'm ranked number 5 in the sports game, but I'm really good at shooter games or whatever, right? So I'll wait for my week to be top. Maybe there'll be incentives for obviously users that rank top in each game, but that's just kind of what I think of obviously for tournament style. I'm not too sure in terms of what head to head to say, but kind of a leaderboard mix kind of with a competition aspect of it.
yeah, maybe like when you used to play ball, it'd be like king of the court, right? The first 1-to-1 holds the court, and you keep going until you get knocked out, type of deal, right? So there's many different ways you can kind of play around with it and try out.
Yeah, no, that definitely sounds cool. A king of court to say, hey, you won this week, you stay on the top, or you get to, you're advanced to the next week of games or whatever it might be, right?
Yeah,
So I guess that can in itself is a tournament too as well, of a tournament of
yeah.
games. Right? So that's super cool. So we will end with that, but I definitely appreciate everyone for coming around, sticking around, listening to us banter about the TAP project, and obviously everything that surrounds blockchain, gaming, cryptocurrencies, SEC, and obviously community questions as well. So again, hit us up at www.tapproject.net. Follow us on Twitter, tap_coin, on Facebook as well as the TAP Project, and our Instagram, which is our newly found Instagram as well, and our Telegram channel, t.me/tapcoin. All our social media. A shout out to all our new team members, and Hugh, thank you for doing this again. And please, again, we're going to be first every second and last Saturdays of the month, 2 times a month. You'll hear us talking to you, providing you updates in another way of just remaining, grassroots, right? Just hitting you guys with,
The real, right?
honest feedback and the real stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah, for sure. And can't forget our community. So we got to give out a shout out to our community. And hopefully this time I don't sound like I'm living in the Pepsi can or anything like that. So
ooh, yeah, you got
oh, I got
ragged real
roasted.
hard for
I was a little hurt. I was like, what? But anyways, you got to
I'm
take
gonna
it, right?
say you sound like a soup can this time.
The tin can. Just call me the Tin Man. But and so I'll kind of phase this out and let you finish off, Hannah. Fueled by gamers, inspired by the community, disruptive to all.
All right, let's go. You guys have a good day.
Yeah!